Thank y'all for inviting me in.
Yes, sir, Lee.
My question is, when you have an accident and the insurance, ruling that it's your fault, and they saying that you're not gonna get compensated for your lost wages or your pain and suffering due to the incident of the accident, what can you do about that?
That is a great question, Lee. And so what you're describing is, in the first instance, in the claims process, when the claims open, the insurance company makes an assessment and they make a determination on what they believe is the accurate assessment for whether it be liability, as you're discussing, and then the amount of damages. Two different issues. A, first, are you entitled to compensation? And B, if you are, how much? And if you do not like the decision that they make on either one of those choices, so let's assume in your situation they're just saying that they don't think that they think you're at fault, so you're not entitled to compensation. Well, at that point in time, quite clearly, you do not have to accept that answer, and that's why we have courthouses built throughout this country, so that we can get actual determinations when there's disputes that you can't come to agreement on. Anytime we have one of these claims, we attempt to try to go through a negotiated resolution with the insurance company or the responsible party, and if we're not able to do that, or if they don't fairly evaluate the claim, our only option is then to seek redress through the court system. And so I think, Lee, it looked like you were from Dothan when you were calling. That would be in the Houston County court system, where you would file your claim. Both Larry Perry and I are licensed in Alabama, and we handle cases up there quite routinely. So that is your option. You don't have to take their answer. They're not the judge, jury, and executioner. They're just one individual making a determination of what they feel like that claim, where the liability lies. But even more typically, we have situations where maybe they do agree that you're entitled to compensation, but we can't agree on the amount. And so that's quite frequently what will result in cases being filed. Lee, you do not have to accept that determination, and that's why, like I said, that's why we have courthouses, and they resolve disputes. And so in this type of case is one that if it ultimately cannot reach a resolution, that a jury would ultimately decide who is responsible, and then after making that determination, you would be entitled to compensation for. And as you mentioned, there are lost wages, there's your medical bills to the extent you've incurred those, and pain and suffering, non-economic damages for loss of enjoyment of life and things of that nature. So, Lee, you don't have to accept that, and make sure and reach out to us, or we'll reach out to you tomorrow and make sure we understand that situation, see if that's something that possibly we can help you with. Thank you for that, Lee. But Natasha, we were talking about some of the things you do, and with Legal Services of North Florida. Is there a process that a client, if they want your services, has to go through in order to qualify to be accepted into the program?
Sure, that's a great question. So in order to get some type of assistance from our office, our agency, you would have to submit an application. So one can come in person. Our office is located at 211 East 11th Street here in Panama City. And I will mention that our office, we serve the counties of Holmes, Washington, and Gulf, and of course Bay. And then individuals can also go online, as I mentioned before, the website, and they can call even our local office, which is 850-769-3581.
Very good.